Hey Apartment Therapy! Welcome to 850 square foot apartment in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. Welcome in.
So when we met, we had pretty different design tastes.
Since meeting Mei, she has introduced color into my life and also into our space. And I think we have really struck a really good balance between our aesthetics and our design choices. So when you first enter our apartment, it leads straight into our kitchen, and we have a really narrow hallway here that leads into our living space. So we wanted to use our hallway here for our everyday storage. So we installed a storage unit here from IKEA. We also have an Eames hang it all that we hang our tote bags and also like our harness and leash for our dog. Next to our storage unit here, we have the staircase bookshelf from Design Within Reach. We really like this bookcase because it allows us to add layers next to our storage unit, and with that we have different items that we really like.
This is our kitchen space that is like right inside the front door. We really like to keep this counter as empty as possible, just so that it feels like really bright and open in here. We did add some peel and stick tile to the floor. The tile that was there before, the grout is quite old, so no matter how many times I tried to steam clean it, it wasn't changing color. And then over here, we have kind of our espresso setup. I used to work in the coffee roasting industry for like 7 years in Seattle before we moved here. So it's really important to me to like keep a pretty intensive coffee collection and setup going at all times. In the morning, we typically do like a hand pour, like a Hario V60, and we typically keep a couple of different beans on hand. So we like to switch it up with different single origin coffees just to like taste different flavors. Just a black coffee is nice. And then over here, we have our very old oven. To make it look a little bit nicer, we have a couple of different pops of color. And then this is something we bought around Chinese New Year. That is something that we have to kind of emphasize Lawrence's culture and like remind us of his family a bit. We have all of our cutting boards stacked on top of our microwave. And then we have like our coffee grinder and our hot water pot all kind of crammed into this corner in a way that like still looks nice, but we definitely have a lot going on here. This space kind of function as I'll like take out like my stand mixer and put it here, or I'll take out like the rice cooker and put it here. Everything just kind of ends up here because that's where our one plug is. And then we have the sink. This is another space saver for us. We have all of our knives magneted onto the wall. It's just a really good way to keep things out of the way and like open up our drawer space for other things. So all of our meal times, morning coffee, that kind of thing, they all kind of happen at this table. For me, when we were figuring out how to use this space, a dining table was a non-negotiable. When I think of home, I think of like having food with family. You know, when I'm hosting, I want to have a table for people to sit at. I think that it's a really important part of like having a communal space where you'd spend time with family and people that you love. It was really important to figure out how to make a table work in here because it is like a bit of an awkward layout with like the big kitchen island. But for this table, we really wanted to designate it as like a dining zone. So we installed this lamp above the table as a way to like really spotlight the dining area. It's such a nice like pop of color, and I think like the arm on it looks really cool.
Yeah, we found this pendant lamp secondhand on Facebook Marketplace. When we first moved in, we were scouring different secondhand markets and Facebook Marketplace to find different items that we think would fit nicely in our apartment.
One of our big challenges in this apartment was figuring out how to fit this chair in. So I got this Jimmy Cooper chair for less than $100 during like an office closing liquidation sale, and I just had to have it. But then after we brought it home, I was like, okay, now what? Because it's kind of too big to be an office chair. I tried, and it's a little bit awkward just sitting by itself. There's not really space in here that makes sense. So we're like, all right, dining chair it is. We're gonna have like big over the top chairs. And I love the way that we've decided to style it with this steel case chair that Lawrence found.
I originally got it thinking that I would use it as my office chair. I couldn't fit it in my office, but it ended up working out because I put this chair out here in the dining area, and I just like how this color of red blends in with the pendant light that we also got. It really, when you look at this part of our apartment in the dining area, it's just lots of pops of red that we really like. We wanted to separate a specific zone for our entertainment area and for our couch. So we have a beige rug that separates where the dining room is and our entertainment room. We wanted to get a sofa that was low to the ground. We have a small dog, he's a Shiba-Inu, and he's quite small, so we wanted to get a couch that is easy for him to access and for him to jump up on. And we found this sofa from this company called Floyd. It's a sectional sofa, and we really like the color of the sofa and the material of the sofa because it is made from wool. So it is really soft to the touch. It's also great for having pets because it doesn't really retain a lot of the odor over time. So it's quite nice. And we also really love the color of this sofa. It's actually a wool stitched sofa using 2 different colors. So when you look at the sofa from afar, it looks purple, but when you get closer to the sofa, you can actually see that it's checkered, and you can see the checkers being red and blue being stitched together. So we think that that's really neat. So for our entertainment area, we wanted a TV that blends into our space, and we were fortunate to find this TV from Samsung. It's called the Samsung Serif TV, and we love the design of it because it is a framed TV wrapped around this plastic molding that makes it look very space-agey and also mid-century modern. And we were able to place our TV on top of our furnace cover, and we were very lucky with that because our furnace cover actually goes a couple feet above the top of the furnace, so there's enough space between our furnace and the TV, so even in the winter months we know our TV is not burning up and getting too heated from the furnace heat. And we decided to put a couple palms next to the TV. We really like the shape of these 2 palms and how it juxtaposes next to this TV. And you'll also notice that we have a little metal crate where we have the toys for our dog. So he uses that as his storage for where he puts all his toys. And next to that, we have a Noguchi inspired paper lamp. And above our TV, we have a shelf where we display some art and some design books. We often rotate the art and books on this shelf. So right now are primarily blue and orange because that's the color mood that we are in right now for the summer months. We have this piece of art that Mei knit. It's a cowboy, and we really like it because it's actually 2 sides. So usually for the summer months, we like it on this side, but for the winter months, we switch it on this side. That's how we usually alternate the colors between the different seasons. For warmer months, we like to go a bit lighter and brighter, so that way the apartment feels more vibrant and a bit more lighter. But for the colder months, we like the apartment to feel a bit warmer and cozier, so we would usually go in more on the reds and the magentas and sometimes brown, just to make the apartment feel a bit warmer and cozier. So our apartment has 12-foot high ceilings. So what we decided to do behind our couch is to install a 3-shelf unit system where we display some art on the very top and some plants, of course. And on the last shelf on the bottom, we have our most recently read books that we like to display, and we've color coordinated the books so it resembles a rainbow. A common theme that you'll see in our apartment is we love pops of color. So oftentimes we try to play colors against each other by mixing different primary colors together. But whenever we get a chance to really add an additional pop, we'll do that. And we think we did a really good job with coordinating the books this way, so that way it resembles a rainbow on top of our purple couch. So next to our sofa, we have this wooden shelf unit from IKEA. We really like it because it's a natural wood tone, and we love the sliding doors. Since we do not have that much storage in our kitchen, we use this for some glassware that we don't use quite often, like for our cocktails and for our wine glasses. And above the shelf here, we have a few items that we like to display. We decided to put a circular mirror here to add additional light and for the light to reflect off the mirror to give the space a more bright and vibrant, spacious vibe. So from our living room, we have two French doors that open into our second bedroom that I'm currently using as my office. So on this side of the wall in my office, I have a guitar wall where I hang all of my guitars. So both May and I play the guitar. We are musicians on the side, and we used to play in a band together, and we still do play together sometimes, but not as often. Our most treasured plant in our apartment, it's our variegated Monstera, the Thai constellation. This plant means a lot to me because I got it when I was living in Seattle, and when I first got it, it was just a very, very tiny plant. It had like 2 leaves. When we moved to Brooklyn, I decided to ship the plant from Seattle to Brooklyn, so I had packaged it up myself and made sure to like wrap it up with like bubble wrap. So it's been with me for over 6 years. So this is a vintage IKEA shelf. It's called the IKEA Entryway shelf. This shelf is not in production right now. This one is one of the original ones that I was lucky enough to get secondhand. I really wanted to highlight some of my favorite art as well as some of my favorite decor items that I have. So for my job, I work a hybrid job, so I do work from home a few days a week. So it was very important for me to get a desk that is able to be a standing desk. It's narrow enough for me to fit a chair. This chair is a Herman Miller sale chair. So it just fits really nice with my desk setup that I have currently. So in our hallway that leads into our bedroom, we wanted to maximize the space. So we have 8 shoe storage units that we got from IKEA. So we're really able to tuck away a lot of our shoes.
This is our extra large bedroom. I think in other units in the building, it's actually split up into 2 rooms, and this is the only one that just has this whole back space as one room. With a room this size, it definitely needs to be multifunctional. Otherwise, if it's just the bed, it feels like a waste of space. So over here, we have a rug that kind of designates this as like our bed space. So it's just very simple, white, fluffy, lower furniture. So this is all just very like peaceful and kind of seamless as one space. We really wanted a bed frame that would be easy to move, easy to set up. So we went with the Thuma bed frame. We also got the nightstands to coordinate. Obviously we have to have some storage. So all of these different like our nightstands. I have like a basket here for some extra sweaters and then like laundry and then a couple of like low-lying dressers just like for clothes storage.
This bookcase, it's a vintage IKEA bookcase. It's a modular shelving system called the Svalvnas. We got this secondhand on Facebook Marketplace when we first moved into this apartment a year ago. We didn't really know exactly how it would fit, and we didn't know which room it would go in. But when we laid out the shelves on the floor, we realized that it actually fits perfectly on this wall, and we were able to utilize the entire shelving system. Each unit that you see, from like the storage shelves on the bottom to the different shelf racks, they're all modular where we can actually put them in different spots if we decide to. At the center of it is our vinyl corner. So oftentimes when we are relaxing in a bedroom, I would be putting on a record. I really like how versatile it is that we can switch out different album covers and kind of use the album cover as a piece of art on the shelf.
We have just like an odd assortment of things we've picked up over the years. It's kind of a nice way for us to show off all of our memories in one place, so we kind of look at it and be reminded. We've picked up some different like little trinkets from trips that we've been on. I made this piece. Is made out of like different materials. So it's like wool and mohair, cotton and silk. But I had a lot of fun making that with like different odds and ends of my yarn stash. This taxi lamp is like the taxi lamp that sits on top of taxis in Hong Kong. So Lawrence found this and just knew that we had to have it on our shelf. It's very like cute and nostalgic, and we love lamps. Up here is my collection of Sunny's Angels. I actually have more of them, but this is just where I limit myself to displaying them. This is where I keep a lot of my work stuff. I have like a collection of like knitting needles and pens here, and then I have like these bins where I keep like swatches for my upcoming projects and like things that are in progress, my upcoming projects yarn. So inside of all of these bins, it's primarily yarn storage. I have a lot of yarn. It's on this side too, like lots of yarn. And this makes sense because I am a knitwear designer by trade, and I teach a lot of like knitting and crochet classes around the city. So over here, I have like my desk that I use for work, as well as like, this is kind of my mood board of like different like potential projects, different projects that I have made, just a way for me to kind of visualize like what I have been working on and like what I will be working on. I have a flatbed knitting machine that I use from time to time here as well. So basically this goes back and forth. I have to set this up on the edge of my desk. The knits start developing from the bottom here. I mostly knit, but I started off as a crochet artist. From the time that I was like 8 years old, I was doing it pretty much nonstop until now. You can find a lot of my work on my Instagram. It's at may.knits. The nice thing about knitting and crochet is that it's very low tech. You don't need to own all of these things to be able to do it. I just like tedious projects, so I like to make it more complicated for myself. We have these 3 huge windows in here that are really beautiful, but this window on the end is not like the other ones. It's actually a door. So we have an outdoor space where we do like to host different barbecues and like different like, you know, small parties with friends on occasion. And like, I am not a tall person. I can show you. I'm 5'3", and I still need to duck when I go through this window. So like going through it is a very like Alice in Wonderland type experience of like, everyone has to fit through this door and like climb up this step ladder to like get down the stairs into the backyard. And I feel like that kind of adds an additional like joyful element of like, it's almost like an adventure to get down there.
In this corner of our bedroom, behind the curtains is actually our closet. It's just a sliding curtain that goes both ways that we were able to hide our closet as well as our storage up there. And we were really fortunate to find a curtain system from IKEA that we were able to work with. And we got these linen curtains from Amazon. Next to our closet, we have my dresser. And above that, we have a minimalist TV. It's the Samsung frame TV that we really like. We often rotate different art on this TV frame. So it just adds on to like the peaceful and tranquil energy and vibe that we have in our bedroom. This is my favorite chair in our apartment. It's the Herman Miller lounge chair in Alderman. So I get to enjoy this chair when I'm not working, and I spend a lot of time here relaxing, reading magazines and listening to music. I got this Herman Miller chair off of the same seller from Facebook Marketplace where I got my Samsung Serif TV in the living room. One tip that I do have for when you are picking up an item that you found on Facebook Marketplace is to ask the seller if they have other items that they have not listed on Facebook Marketplace. It's a great way to pick up an additional item in your Facebook Marketplace haul.
I kind of went for a very different aesthetic in the bathroom than the rest of the apartment, just as like a way to contrast the design everywhere else. But it's a little bit more woodsy. It's a little bit more like natural feeling. And that was just to kind of match a little bit more with like the fixtures that were already in the bathroom.
Your home resembles who you are and the life that you are building.
It is like a place where you spend time with your family and the people that are close to you. It's important to have a home and a space that like works for you and works for your lifestyle, no matter what that looks like.